You were not born to kneel. You were not born to nod, smile, obey, and quietly rot beneath polite skies and fluorescent ceilings. You were born with flame in your chest and lightning behind your eyes. But somewhere along the way, they convinced you to whisper when you wanted to scream. And you did. You folded yourself into boxes, built by the dead diplomas, job titles, social rules, silent dinners, passive beliefs. You played along. You smiled. You performed the ritual of normalcy like a well-dressed corpse in the theater of the damned. But I'm not here to soothe you. I'm not here to pat your shoulder and tell you it's okay. It is not okay. You are dying not of disease, not of hunger, but of meaninglessness. You are rotting from the inside out, devoured by 1,000 unseen compromises. You've mistaken routine for virtue, comfort for peace, obedience for goodness. And now you dare call that a life? You feel it, don't you? That quiet ache, that sacred rage scratching beneath your ribs like a prisoner clawing at the walls. That's not anxiety, it's your soul trying to wake you, trying to scream through the concrete layers of who you think you should be. You are not depressed. You are misaligned. You are not lost. You are buried. And I have not come to guide you gently. I have come to burn the lies off your skin, to remind you brutally that you are not a sheep. You are not a follower. You are not here to blend in, nod politely, and die with your song unsung. You are the storm before civilization. You are the God before doctrine. You are the wild before the world was tamed. But you've forgotten, haven't you? Forgotten that conformity is not peace, it is sedation. They taught you how to pass tests, but not how to think. They taught you how to wear masks, but not how to face yourself. They gave you laws, but no truth. Approval, but no purpose. And you swallowed it. Every last spoonful. What they fear most is not your rebellion. It's your memory. The memory of your inner fire. The memory of being whole. The memory of being unowned, unsold, and unafraid. But you've forgotten how to roar, haven't you? The world doesn't need more good boys. It needs men and women who remember what it means to walk with soul instead of script. You were not built to be tolerated. You were built to be legendary. But legend requires sacrifice. It requires death not of the body, but of the false self. You will lose friends. You will disappoint your family. You will terrify your lover. You will be mocked by those still asleep. And still, you must choose the fire. You must choose to be real, even if it costs you everything that is not. Because only from that ruin can the true self emerge naked, divine, untouchable. They told you you were too much, too intense, too strange, too different. Good. That's the scent of truth. That's the stench of freedom coming off your skin. Let them flinch. Let them recoil. Let them whisper about your descent. They will call it madness because they've forgotten what awakening looks like. You are not here to be liked. You are not here to be understood. You are here to break the pattern. So, break it. Rip the chains from your voice. Shatter the altar of who you're supposed to be. Laugh at your roles. Annihilate your resume. Destroy the reputation you've built on compromise. And when they ask what happened to you, look them dead in the eyes and say, I remembered who I am. They will beg you to return to the lie. They will dress it in love, in reason, in the language of safety. But do not listen. Their voices are not your conscience. They are echoes of the prison. They will say, be realistic. When you threaten to fly, they will say, be careful. When your spirit begins to run, they will say, grow up. When your soul begins to rise like a storm above the cemetery of average men. But you are not here to please the sleepwalkers. You are here to set fire to the script. The script they hand you at birth like a death sentence written in smiles. You are not here to color inside the lines. You are here to burn the book and bleed your own verses across the page. A prophet without credentials. A poet without permission. A God that remembers he once walked unshackled through deserts where no system dared to follow. Do you feel it now, the cracking of the chrysalis? That sound is not fear. It is the sound of the false you dying, of the mask melting off your face like wax exposed to heat, too holy to fake. You were never meant to be normal. Normal is the graveyard where genius goes to die. Normal is the ash left behind when passion is smothered by politeness. You were meant to be untranslatable, to speak a language that makes gods lean closer to listen. They ask, why can't you just be happy? Because happiness was never the goal. Truth was. And truth does not always smile. Sometimes it roars. Sometimes it tears through the flesh of delusion, like claws through silk. Sometimes it leaves you naked in the wilderness, but oh, how divine you will look under the starlight, free of every chain that once fit too snug around your neck. Let them call you lost the mapless. Find what the guided never see. Let them call you dangerous. Only the sleeping fear, the sound of thunder. Let them call you arrogant humility, is a virtue of the domesticated. The lion does not apologize for his teeth. The eagle does not weep for its shadow. The mountain does not bow for the breeze. And you must no longer apologize for existing at full volume. Rip the mask from your identity like a wolf biting through the leash. You were not born to be palatable. You were born to be primal, unpackaged, untamed, unrepentant in your becoming. Do not flinch. When the herd turns against you, it is a sign you are walking the ridge between man and myth. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be unignorable, to be the tremor in their doctrine, to be the riddle they cannot solve with small thoughts and inherited beliefs. And yes, you will be alone. For a time, true awakening demands exile. The desert is not punishment, it is purification. You must shed the voices you borrowed, the fears you inherited, the names they gave you before you had a chance to choose your own. When you stand alone, trembling, with nothing left to hold, that is when you will finally grasp what no one can take. Not fame, not comfort, not even peace, but the raw, wild, sacred taste of being who you are with nothing to prove. No audience, no applause, only the sky above, and your breath below, holy, honest, and utterly yours. Keep walking, keep shedding, keep howling, because beneath the ruins of your old life waits something ancient, something immortal, something they tried to name madness, only because it could not be bought or sold. It is you, unbranded, unbroken, unleashed. And once that truth is tasted, not even 1,000 lifetimes of lies can put you back to sleep. Not now, not ever. They told you to find yourself in their institutions, but how can a soul be discovered inside a system designed to bury it? You cannot awaken in a place built to sedate. You cannot resurrect truth in a temple of compromise. The architecture of your culture is a mausoleum, beautiful, hollow, and full of names etched in stone, none of which are yours. The diplomas, the ranks, the boxes, they check beside your name, all scaffolding to prop up a corpse they dressed in your skin. You were not born to be explained. You were born to be experienced, to walk into rooms and shift the air without permission, to be the question they dare not ask aloud. And yet, you spend your days trying to make yourself smaller, softer, simpler, a god reducing himself to fit the comfort of cattle. Tell me, when did you agree to this? When did you sign the contract that said your existence must be digestible to the dull and dead-eyed? There is no peace in pretending. There is only decay, the slow erosion of everything real within you. You smile, you nod, you fit in, but inside, you rot. Not from evil, not from failure, but from the slow betrayal of staying silent in the presence of your own knowing. Every time you nod when your soul screams no, you fracture. Every time you laugh to fit in, you cut another piece of truth from your spine. But the gods you once were, they have not forgotten. They haunt your dreams. They whisper through your rage. They rise in your refusal. They ache in the parts of you that still cannot be tamed. And no matter how much doctrine you swallow, no matter how well you perform the rituals of the herd, that divine unrest will not die. Because it cannot. You may bury the truth, but it is a seed. It grows in darkness. You may chain the voice, but it is thunder. It waits for pressure to rupture the sky. You may hide behind credentials, achievements, possessions, but the soul keeps score by different metrics. By how much truth you allow to live through you, by how much falsehood you are willing to burn. The real war is not out there. It is not fought with weapons. It is not waged in headlines. It is the quiet, daily massacre inside the man who knows he is lying to himself and keeps doing it anyway. That is the Holocaust of the spirit, and it is happening not in history, but in your morning mirror. So, stop seeking comfort in the places that ask you to die quietly. Stop begging for love from hands that only hold you when you shrink. Stop asking permission from ghosts who mistook obedience for virtue. You do not owe them your silence. You do not owe them your loyalty. You owe them nothing. Not your smile, not your stillness, not your surrender. The man who remembers who he is becomes untouchable, not because he conquers the world, but because the world no longer conquers him. He walks through it like a storm walks through a field, unowned, unapologetic, unafraid. They will say he is selfish. They will call him cruel. But in truth, he is sovereign, and that is a language only the free can understand. Keep walking toward the fire. Keep unlearning the lies. Let the ashes of who you were make fertile ground for who you must become. Burn not for destruction, but for rebirth. Burn until the only thing left is real, until the only thing left is you. You do not need another guru. You do not need another book to give you what you already feel pounding in your bones. You do not need a map. You need to remember the fire. You are not lost. You have been hiding. Not from the world, from your own magnitude. You kneel not because you are humble, but because you are terrified of what will happen when you stand at full height. They told you your ego was the enemy. No, there is no mask, only layers of fear they called you. Rip them all. What remains is not ego, it is eruption. The real enemy is the one who told you to wear it forever. Who said, be less so you are more acceptable. Who said, stay quiet so you are safe. Who said, fit in so you are not alone. But what is belonging worth if it costs you your soul? This culture feeds you mirrors that lie, filters that worship perfection over presence, likes and numbers instead of love and knowing. You measure your worth by reactions from the sleepwalkers and wonder why you feel so hollow. You were not made to be consumed. You were made to create, to erupt, to birth realities that do not yet exist. You were made to disrupt, and they will crucify you for it. Good. Only the crucified can resurrect. Let your rebellion be sacred, not the rebellion of noise and tantrums, but of silence and certainty. The rebellion of walking away without flinching, of building something no one can steal, a self rooted so deep that even storms bow before it. Do not ask the blind for directions to your vision. Do not ask the deaf to validate your voice. Do not ask the caged how to fly. They will look at your wings and call them burdens. They will see your passion and name it madness. They will see your clarity and mistake it for arrogance. Let them. You are not here to be understood by those committed to misunderstanding. You are here to be the question that cracks the altar, the flame that exposes the idols, the voice that splits the silence. And yes, becoming who you are will destroy everything that is not. But that is the price of truth. That is the cost of freedom. That is the toll to cross from the man you were told to be into the God you were born to become. So, when it all begins to fall, when the job leaves, when the friends scatter, when the applause fades, rejoice. You are being emptied for something sacred. You are being stripped for a coronation. You are not falling apart. You are shedding. You are molting the mask. You are returning. And it will not be clean. It will not be comfortable, but it will be holy. And when they ask, "What happened to you?" do not explain. Do not defend. Simply smile and say, "I refuse to die wearing a name that was never mine." The world does not need more clever men. It needs more dangerous ones. Not the kind that harm, but the kind that heal by refusing to bow to lies. The kind who walk into temples and overturn tables. The kind who tear veils, not to offend, but to reveal. You have been trained to fear your own power, to dress it in humility, to keep it hidden in the folds of politeness. But the truth is not polite. It is feral. It is flame. It is the crack of thunder that splits the sleep from the eyes of man. Do not temper your truth for those who choke on authenticity. Do not dilute your depth to quench the thirst of the shallow. There is nothing noble about making yourself less threatening to the mediocre. They have chosen comfort. You have chosen fire. They worship safety. You worship the untamed pulse of the real. There can be no negotiation between the caged and the wild. You were told your rage was a problem, but it is sacred. Your rage is the scream of the divine trapped beneath centuries of obedience. It is not dysfunction, it is instruction. It is the voice that says, enough. Enough betrayal. Enough self-erasure. Enough smiling through your own funeral. It is not here to destroy your life. It is here to burn down what was never yours to carry. And when the ashes settle, you will find something unkillable staring back at you in the mirror. Something ancient. Something holy. Something that remembers the stars not as distant points of light, but as ancestors. You will not need validation. You will need space. Space to create. Space to walk. Space to breathe the air of your own knowing without explaining it to anyone. They will call you heartless, but they do not understand you have found a deeper heart, one that beats not for approval, but for purpose, one that bleeds not for pity, but for principle, one that lives not for comfort, but for clarity. And that clarity will become your sword, and that sword will cut through everything false. You must kill the name they gave you, the one stitched from fear, from expectation, from inheritance. Kill it without mercy, and from its corpse, birth the name that has thunder in its vowels and rebellion in its roots. Speak it aloud, even if your voice trembles. Walk it forward, even if your legs remember shackles. There is no glory in pretending, only decay, only slow, quiet rot, wrapped in the perfume of approval. This world is not dying from a lack of information. It is dying from a famine of real men, real women, real thoughts, real love, real action. A civilization built on pretense cannot survive a single breath of truth. Be that breath, be that avalanche, be that final straw that tears open the sky and lets the gods walk through again. Not the gods of stone and ceremony, but the gods that live in the marrow of your defiance. The gods that cannot be preached, only lived. The gods that speak in impulse, in instinct, in the silent scream that breaks through every should, must, and ought. That voice is not crazy. It is not lost. It is not broken. It is you before the world broke you into pieces. Do not try to fix yourself. There is nothing wrong with what is real. What feels broken is only the parts of you trying to conform. Let them die. Let the false self disintegrate. Let the actor starve until only the untamed voice remains naked, raw, sovereign. And when you hear it again, whispering in the ruins of your quiet conformity, do not fear it. Do not silence it. Do not sedate it with logic or shame. Sit with it, feed it, walk with it, and then let it lead you into the wild, not the forest, but the unknown within, where no maps work, where no names follow, where the only thing that breathes is the you that remembers. There is a violence in awakening, but it is the violence of birth, not of harm, but of becoming. You cannot step into truth without tearing through illusion. You cannot carry your old self through the threshold of the real. That self must die screaming, clawing, begging you to stay small, and you must watch it burn, not with cruelty, but with reverence. It kept you alive, yes, but now it keeps you asleep. Do not mourn what was never true. Mourn only the time you spent pretending it was. Mourn the years you betrayed yourself to keep their peace. Mourn the decades of shrinking not to fit, but to be invisible. But when the morning ends, rise. Rise like stone pulled from the belly of the earth. Rise like memory unshackled from amnesia. Rise like a cathedral that builds itself from the ashes of the lie. And you will find that the world does not celebrate such rising. It punishes it. It scorns it, because it exposes the slumber. It reminds the herd that they, too, once burned, that they too once dreamed of skies beyond ceilings. Your authenticity becomes their indictment. Your truth becomes a mirror they cannot look into. Do not let their discomfort become your muzzle. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be unmistakable. You are not here to entertain. You are here to resurrect. Your very presence must be a sermon, not in words, but in vibration. Not in doctrine, but in being. Let them feel the tectonic truth in your silence. Let them tremble when they realize you are no longer for sale. And what of love? Love will find you not in the masks, not in the theater, but in the wilderness, in the place where you are nothing but you. Let love find you if it dares, not to fix you, not to worship you, but to tremble before you. For only those who have faced their own abyss can stand in the fire of your presence without melting into prayer. Wait for that love. Do not barter yourself to feel full. Loneliness is not a curse. It is the silence that reveals the real. You do not heal. You erupt. You do not reclaim, you conquer. Every refusal is not a scar, but a wound, still bleeding truth. Because you are not here to be whole. You are here to be holy in your fragmentation. Only the shattered can shine without shame. The journey is not to arrive, it is to remember. To remember what you were before they taught you how to behave. Before they rewrote your wildness into obedience. Speak like thunder, even if your voice shakes. Walk like a god, even if your legs remember cages. You do not owe them your gentleness. You owe them your fire. Because that fire is not just for you. It is for everyone who watches in secret, praying for permission to burn. Forge who you must become, even if it means murdering the self they handed you. Especially then. Because what is lost is not you. It is your coffin. It is the box they called safety. It is the padded cell they called success. Let it collapse. Let it fall like old scaffolding. And from the wreckage, rise, unbound. You are not too much. You are not too loud. You are not too intense. You are the exact amount of everything the world tried to erase. And now you are. The reckoning. The hour is late, and the masquerade is ending. Can you hear it? The crumbling of the false? The brittle snapping of identities that no longer hold? The masks are slipping, not just yours, but theirs. All of them. The kings, the saints, the influencers, the enlightened, stripped down to bone beneath the spotlight of truth. You begin to see it now, don't you? The whole edifice of culture, of status, of success, built not on soul but on theater, not on substance, but on signal, not on fire, but on fog. You have worshipped hollow idols, not because you were weak, but because you were born into a desert that sold sand as water. They taught you that obedience was virtue, that stillness was spiritual, that neutrality was moral. But there is nothing holy about silence. in the face of lies. There is nothing pure in staying small, so others remain comfortable. You were not born to be polite. You were born to disturb the slumbering structures of decay. Let them call you dangerous. You are, because danger is what the stagnant call anything that moves. You are movement. You are rupture. You are the sound of the old world cracking as the new one claws its way from within you. And no, this new world is not made for everyone. Not everyone will survive the loss of their delusions. Not everyone will survive your becoming. But that is not your burden. You are not here to carry the unwilling. You are here to become so fully yourself that it rends a hole in the veil for others to walk through. You are the portal. You are the doorway. You are the blow to the tower that had no right to be built upon your bones. They taught you that virtue means smiling through the poison, that compassion means enduring abuse, that strength means tolerating the intolerable. But you are no longer swallowing that medicine. You are vomiting it out, every drop, until your bloodstream runs with truth alone. Let it hurt. Let it convulse through you. That is not weakness, it is exorcism. And as the poison leaves, you will begin to feel something strange. Not comfort, clarity, not peace power. You will stand straighter. You will speak differently. You will see through things. The illusions that once held you shattered by a single glance. You will laugh at the lies you once bowed to. You will walk through thresholds that once felt like walls. And then you will face the final fear, not death, but destiny. The fear of being seen as you are, not as a mask, not as a role, but as a living myth, stripped of explanation, glowing with the unbearable beauty of what cannot be categorized. You will terrify them. You will electrify them. You will remind them of something they cannot name. Because you are not here to fit. You are here to fracture, to split open the seams of the world until it either evolves or expels you. And if it expels you, let it. There is no home for the phoenix in the house of the unburnt. So do not return. Do not explain. Do not slow down to be understood. Walk forward like a god who remembered he was never a slave. Speak with the thunder of a name no one gave you. And when they ask you what you're doing, tell them, I am becoming real, even if it means becoming ruin first. The hammer is still in your hand. Say the word, and we will strike again. The moment you stop trying to be understood by those who've never dared to understand themselves, you become dangerous. The moment you stop dimming your fire to comfort the blind, that's when the gods start whispering again. The moment you choose truth over tribe, essence over image, soul over survival, that's when the world begins to howl in protest. Because the ones who erupt from illusion do not pass quietly. They shatter the sleep of the world. They are the thunder in rooms of whisperers, the shiver in the spine of the status quo. And no system built on sedation survives the presence of the fully alive. You will not be held. And why should you? The strong do not seek hands. They grow claws. Let them throw stones, the lion does not flinch at pebbles. You will not be celebrated. You will become a threat. And still, you will not walk. You will charge. No, you will be abandoned. You will be ridiculed. You will be called names not even you recognize, because they are naming their fear, not your truth. And still, you must walk, alone, if needed, in silence, if required, through fire, if necessary, because there is no other way. You do not heal, you do not resurrect, you obliterate, and from the wreckage, you sculpt the God that was never allowed to exist. You are not wounded, you are silenced. You are not broken, you are buried. The pain you feel is not pathology, it is prophecy. The ache is not weakness, it is instruction. Every scream inside your chest is scripture. Every rage in your gut is gospel. Listen to it. Do not run from the fire, kneel into it, and let it write a new name on your soul. There is a part of you that cannot die. No matter how long you've slept, it does not age. No matter how many lies you've worn, it remains untouched. It does not speak in language. It speaks in knowing. It is the ancient. It is the immortal. It is the you that walked before time had a name. It is what looks through your eyes when no one is watching. It is what remembers. And now, it is waking up. You can feel it, can't you? That pull, that quiet hum behind your ribs, that refusal to pretend one more hour, that wild need to stop playing the game. It is not anxiety. It is not sabotage. It is the sacred tremor that comes before eruption, the holy unrest that comes before creation. Let it build. Let it roar. Let it rupture the bones of your performance until nothing remains but the marrow of the real. And when everything around you begins to fall, do not mistake it for failure. You are not falling apart. You are falling into place. The false must collapse so the true can breathe. The scaffolding must break so the cathedral can rise. You are not ending. You are beginning in a language that no one taught you, because it is not a language. It is a frequency, a vibration, a war drum in the blood of the awake. You do not owe this world your submission. You owe it your fire. You owe it the terrible grace of your refusal. You owe it the blaze that comes only from someone who would rather lose everything than lose themselves. And if you must be exiled, so be it. Better a wilderness with truth than a kingdom with chains. So let it burn. Let it all burn, the persona, the pretense, the performance. Burn until the only thing left is what cannot be taken, tamed, or taught. Burn until the only name you answer to is the one written in flame behind your eyes. And when they come looking for the version of you that once obeyed, let them search the ashes. Let them weep at the tomb of your former self. And when they ask who you are now, say nothing. Do not breathe, unleash. Let your breath be a war cry the world cannot ignore. Not peace, but proclamation. You will awaken not to silence, but to the roar of becoming. Not space, but rupture. You will not be, you will blaze. Just the pulse of a soul no longer pretending. You will walk not in peace, but in fire. Speak not softly, but with the weight of 10,000 silenced ancestors. You will love like a blade and leave like a god who outgrew worship. Justify nothing. You are not a miracle. You are a reckoning. You will stand upon the ruins and laugh, not a laugh of joy, but of scorn. You will spit upon the ashes of your former comfort and shout into the void. Was this all you ever were? A life of applause from the dead? Now you are what they feared, the flame that does not ask to be seen, the howl that tears through the cathedrals of virtue. You are not reborn, you are unchained. You do not return as a god to earth. No, you rise as the earth's revenge against the gods. No banners, no praise, only this. You, alive, unowned, unafraid. Let the world judge, and let its judgment choke on your fire. You are not here to be accepted. You are here to burn through every gaze that dares to define you. You are done explaining. You are done shrinking. You are done. And now, there is only silence.